Sometimes you just have to admit to your mistakes. Called Shane Bieber overrated. It was dumb. I do apologize. Baseball's hard. That's it. That's all I got to say. But, guys, I appreciate you watching. Of course, as always, before we jump into it, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. The support on the channel has been amazing, especially in my first MLB The Show 21 video, so I appreciate all of you. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. We do these daily previews basically every day on the channel, going over all the baseball matchups, who to watch for, and what teams to watch for. So make sure you stick around for that at the end here. And, of course, as always, my podcast, socials, everything linked in the description below, along with my Discord. So make sure you join that. Just talking baseball. All right, so let's jump into today's MLB preview. So we got a lot of matchups in store today, full slate of baseball. I'm excited. It's going to be a good day. First up at 1:05 Eastern Time, the 11-6 San Francisco Giants doing really well so far this year. They're up against the 8-9 Philadelphia Phillies. They've struggled since sweeping the opening series. Anthony DeSclafani has looked amazing so far in a Giants uniform. He's on the mound for them against Zach Eflin on the mound for the Phillies. He's also looked good this year. Phillies are looking to get back to 500, prove that they're not a fourth-place team, and prove that they can be at the top of this division. At 1:10 Eastern Time, the 8-9 Baltimore Orioles face off against the 7-9 Miami Marlins. This is actually going to be a better matchup than I think coming into the season people would expect. The Orioles have played somewhat decently, and the Marlins, I think, are a better team than most people think. Although they are 7-9, still a good team. Bruce Zimmerman on the mound for the Orioles. He's looked good so far this year. He's not maybe an ace going long term, but he has looked good this year. Going to pitch some good innings for them. And then Trevor Rogers on the mound for these Miami Marlins. He's looked great so far this year. I'm excited about him. He's another young stud to add to that rotation for Miami and help them with the winning formula going forward in the future. So look out for him to do well in this one. At 2:10 Eastern Time, we have a makeup game from yesterday after it got canceled. The 7-9 Pittsburgh Pirates are up against the 6-10, not 10-6, Detroit Tigers. Sorry, Tigers fans. Tyler Anderson on the mound for the Pirates. He's looked okay so far this year against Michael Fulmer, looking to have a bounce-back season and go back to that Rookie of the Year form he once had. Should be a decent matchup in store. Not sure who's going to come out on top. Two of the worst teams in baseball facing up against each other. But Tyler Anderson, Michael Fulmer, two decent pitchers. So we'll see if it's a pitcher's duel in this one. And then another game with the Pirates and Tigers. Again, like I said, they're 7-9 and 6-10 respectively. Pittsburgh has not announced their starter yet at the time I am recording this. And then Spencer Turnbull on the mound for the Tigers. He's making his season debut. We'll see if he's able to continue his major league success. He's looked somewhat good so far in his major league career. So he looks to continue that success against the Pirates in this one. At 3:10, the 7-9 Houston Astros, below 500, struggling since sweeping the Athletics in that opening series of the season, face off against the worst team in baseball. Thank God it's not my Yankees because the Rockies exist. Yeah, that's it. Thank God it's not the Yankees. That's all I'll say. But the Rockies are 5-12, worst team in baseball. Jose Urquidy on the mound for the Astros. He's looked okay so far this year. And then Austin Gomber, centerpiece of the Nolan Arenado trade. I will say it every time he starts. He's on the mound for the Rockies. He's looked pretty good so far this year, actually, although he's 0-2 because he plays on the worst team in baseball. And he plays at Coors. So, feels bad. At 3:37, the 6-10 Minnesota Twins, they're struggling right now. Not looking good. Face off against the 11-7 Oakland Athletics. They've won like 9 out of their 10 last games or something crazy like that. They just absolutely popped off this year. You know, they started out the season terrible. I didn't even know if they'd be able to get to 500. Now they're 4 games above 500, and they look amazing. So, baseball's a fickle sport. I say it every video, but it's true. Minnesota Twins ace Kenta Maeda on the mound for them. He's 1-1 with a 3.07 ERA so far this year. That's pretty good. He faces off against Frankie Montas and the Athletics. Montas has looked decent so far after his terrible first start, had like a 50 ERA or something. But he looks good now, so he'll look to continue his success against a good Minnesota Twins offense in this one. At 4:05, the St. Louis Cardinals are up against the 6-9 struggling Washington Nationals. Carlos Martinez on the mound for the Cardinals. He's looking to find that old form he had. Maybe he's not a starter. They keep moving him back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen, which is probably messing with him a little bit. He's 0-3 with a 7.8 ERA. Not good. Hopefully he can bounce back in this one. And he faces off against Max Scherzer, who's having a good season in terms of average major league pitchers. Not the best for Max Scherzer, although his ERA is 2.37. He does give up a lot of home runs still, so he's looking to not give up too many home runs in this one, but good luck with Nolan Arenado. as your matchup. We'll see. Maybe the Nationals can inch closer to 500. Maybe the Cardinals will get to 500 in this one. At 8-10, the Texas Rangers play the 9-6 Los Angeles Angels. The Angels still have one of the best records in the American League. They do still look good. Mike Foltynewicz on the mound for the Rangers. He's 0-3 with the 5.63 ERA, looking to get his first win of the season. And he faces off against newly reformed Jose Quintana. Obviously, you can see his stats here. He looks awful so far this year, but now he's moving to the first base side of the rubber pitching, and we'll see if he can maybe get some people out for once. I don't know. Bad signing by the Angels. We all knew it from the start. Maybe he can pitch well in this one against a bad Texas team. We'll see. At 4:10 Eastern Time, the 10-7 Milwaukee Brewers face off against the 10-9 San Diego Padres. They did lose a few games to the Dodgers, of course, over the weekend, but they still do look good. Adrian Hauser on the mound for the Brewers. He's their number 3 starter. He's looked good so far this year. Maybe he'll throw up on the mound again. Not sure. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. Pretty funny. And Dinelson Lamet on the mound for the Padres. He's making his season debut. The Padres are slowly getting healthier and healthier. Of course, Tatis came back over the weekend. Now Lamet's back. We'll see if the Padres, as they get healthier, Will Myers also came back over the weekend. As the Padres get healthier, hopefully they can continue to make a push for that division and just compete with the Dodgers a little bit more. But Lamet, it should be an interesting matchup in this one. Lamet is nasty. He was great last year. We'll see how he does today in his season debut. At 6:10, these 9-9 Chicago White Sox are up against the 8-8 Cleveland Indians. As of right now, the White Sox do not have a starter announced, and that to-be-determined starter is going to face off against the 3-0, 2.18 ERA Aaron Savali. Look really good so far. I'm not surprised. Pitches for Cleveland. Anyone who pitches for Cleveland is going to be a stud. It's very irritating, but good for him. Both these teams looking to get above 500 and continue to try and chase down the Kansas City Royals in that division. Did not think I would ever say that. At 6:35, not the marquee matchup that people thought it was going to be. The struggling 7-10 Atlanta Braves face off against a struggling 6-10 New York Yankees. If you saw the game yesterday, it ended in bad fashion. Yes, the Yankees won, thank God for me. But, I mean, it was a wild pitch by Nate Jones. That's the only reason they won. Both teams look absolutely atrocious right now, especially with Acuna being down for a couple days. Both of them got to get it together. This was some people's World Series matchups, and now they're two of the worst teams in baseball, so hopefully they can figure it out. Ian Anderson on the mound for the Braves against Corey Kluber and the Yankees. Kluber's looked bad so far this year, just bad. Maybe he can bounce back against a struggling Braves offense. We shall see. Tyone did do well yesterday, so maybe Kluber can do well in his start today. At 6-10, the Arizona Diamondbacks face off against the 9-6 Cincinnati Reds. Merrill Kelly on the mound for the Diamondbacks. He's really struggled so far this year, so he'll look to bounce back, but the Reds do have a good offense, so we shall see. Tyler Maylie on the mound for the Reds. He's 1-1 with a 2.57 ERA. He's actually looked really good so far this year, and he's already pitched against the Diamondbacks this year and did really well, so he's looking to continue that success against this Diamondbacks team and push the Reds to that 10th win of the season and get them further and further above 500. At 7-10, the 7-10 Toronto Blue Jays face off against the 12-6 American League East leading Boston Red Sox. Trent Thornton on the mound for the Blue Jays. He's looked pretty good so far this year. Hasn't pitched a ton, but they're looking for him to have a successful start. Against Garrett Richards, he's on one of the 6 ERA. Richards hasn't looked good either. Not the best signing. They give him a lot of money to be a mediocre starter. But we'll see if he can help the Red Sox get their 13th win of the season and continue to dominate. Just shocking to me. I don't know. At 7:40, the 7-5 New York Mets face off against the 7-9 last place in the division, tied with the Pirates, Chicago Cubs. David Peterson on the mound for the Mets versus Zach Davies. Zach Davies has looked atrocious so far this year. It's looking like the Padres won that trade even more. We all knew they won the trade before it happened, but we were like, oh, maybe Zach Davies is good. Just kidding, he's not good. So we'll see. The Mets are looking to get further above 500, and the Cubs are trying to prove to their fans that they don't suck. So we'll see. Makes me mad. At 10-8, the Tampa Bay Rays at 8:10 Eastern Time face off against the 9-7 Central Division leaders, Kansas City Royals. Michael Wacha has looked like Cy Young himself this year against the Yankees. Don't look at his overall stats. Only the Yankees make him look good. 1-1 with a 4.2 ERA. He faces off against Jacob Junis with 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA. Junis has looked good so far this year in his first start. Should be a good matchup in store. We got a couple contenders right now. Of course, these teams are both about 500. The Royals have looked good so far this year. Should be a good matchup in store. And then the last game of the day is actually a continued game from yesterday. It's a continuing game. It got suspended in the top of the 8th. The Diamondbacks are up 5-4, but the bases are loaded with 1 out. Sims was on the mound for the Reds against Eduardo Escobar. We'll see what time. I'm not sure exactly what time that game is supposed to resume or when, but we'll see. Good luck. Now, my pitcher to watch in this one, I mentioned it before, as always, Dinelson Lamet on the mound for the Padres. He's my pitcher to watch solely because I think he's disgusting. He might have the highest ceiling of anyone in that Padres rotation, which is insane because they have, of course, Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, Mike Clevenger, Chris Paddock, all of them. They all look good, but I think Lamet has the best stuff, potentially. He's got the highest ceiling, in my opinion. So he's my pitcher to watch in this one because I want him to get off to a good start and help that Padres team build some more momentum to make that deep postseason push. If the Padres are going to be as successful as they can this year, they are going to need him to pitch like he did last year. So that's why he's my pitcher to watch in this one. Should be fun. Originally, my hitter to watch in this one was Anthony Santander because he's been struggling and not doing so well. But then when I was editing this video, I found out that he rolled his ankle yesterday. He's undergoing an MRI, so he's definitely not going to play today. Hopefully he is healthy and doesn't have to miss too much time. But now my actual hitter to watch in this one, instead of a struggling player, I'm going to go with one of the most young, exciting players in baseball. Jazz Chisholm has looked so fun this year. He, of course, hit that no-doubt bomb against DeGrom the other day on a 100-something mile-an-hour fastball. He's the only player to ever hit a home run against DeGrom in an 0-2 count. So that's just nuts. But he's got an OPS above 1,000. He's got multiple home runs. He's doing really well so far this year. He's one of the top hitters in baseball, and he's going to be very key to the Marlins' success either this year or in the future. He might be the shortstop of the future or the second baseman of the future, depending on how long Miguel Rojas is with the team. But he's very exciting, very fun to watch, and I really want him to continue to do well and be successful because I think it's good for the Marlins and I think it's good for baseball. He's very outspoken, very fun to watch, and I just love everything about him. So continue to do well, Jazz Chisholm, in this one, and maybe prove to the haters that the Marlins are actually a good team. Guys, that's going to do it for me today in my MLB preview. I appreciate all of you watching. Of course, like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. It helps me out a ton. And then, of course, as always, my socials, Discord, podcast linked in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.